Welcome to the Backlash at Backlash.com. My name is Rod Van Mecklin, and in this video I'm going to read excerpts from Part 2 in my series on rape, and gender. Starting with second-wave feminist Susan Brown-Miller's book, Against Our Will, feminists have made several specious generalizations about rape, and so I wrote several chapters in my first book to address some of them. Here's the second of them, the full text of which is linked below. Also linked in the low bar is Diana Davison's excellent video, Why Doesn't Laci Green Teach Good Blowjobs? It's important to note that much of the nonsense that third-wave feminist Laci Green spouted in the video to which Diana responded originated with second-wave feminist Susan Brown-Miller and can be found in Brown-Miller's torrent of hate, Against Our Will. Now, Rape and Gender, 1992, Bellevue, Washington. Men and women may experience different things as rape. As Warren Farrell noted in his May 19, 1992 interview with Peter Jennings on ABC News, quote, both sexes can be raped. A false accusation can be a rape to a man, close quote. The shame and social ostracizing men often experience from false accusations of rape may be even more devastating than the shame and social ostracizing women who have been raped experience. Keep in mind, I wrote this in 1992. I think that this has pretty much changed. In fact, as people like Mattress Girl demonstrate, sometimes claiming to have been raped turns a person into a celebrity. This is not to validate our cultural attitudes, then, toward rape and sex, nor to say they cannot or should not change, but to identify them for what they are. In our culture, we give female shame greater consideration in law, in the media, and in our socialization. The result is, where the ways in which men are raped differ from the ways women are raped, society is blind. Susan Brown-Miller defines the physical act of rape as a case where, quote, a woman chooses not to have intercourse with a specific man and the man chooses to proceed against her will, close quote. Well, that's adequate to define one aspect of rape, but if rape is not always a sex crime, that is not always an incident of forced sexual intercourse per se, but truly the crime of violence many say it is, then there is no doubt women rape and can rape men because rape is an attack on the genitals, what Brown-Miller might call an, quote, attempt to annihilate the sexual core, close quote. If it's rape to attack a woman's genitals, then an attack on a man's genitals is rape too. Legal experts and feminists alike will almost certainly disagree and assert that attacking genitals is not rape, but sexual assault, and that rape is an exclusively male domain. Quoting from Jane Dowdeswell's book, Women on Rape, quote, there is nothing absolutely certain about rapists apart from the fact that they are male, close quote. Feminists have been very successful at promoting this idea, and that all men are, by definition, sexual predators, said Brown-Miller, quote, by anatomical fiat, the inescapable construction of their genital organs, the human male was a natural predator and the human female served as his natural prey, close quote. Legally and traditionally, this may be. But how is penile penetration of a woman's vagina against her will a worse crime than bludgeoning a man's testicles? In the rape of a woman, is the biological foundation of her sexual identity, her ovaries, much at risk? It could be. But the harsh fact is, a woman could be raped every day of her life and her ovaries might never be at risk. But it should be obvious that the anatomical foundation of a man's sexual identity, his testicles, are at risk should you strike him there. So why should penetration be the deciding factor? What about vaginal engulfment of a man's penis against his will? How can a man's penis get erect enough for a woman to engulf him were he not a willing party? Having ever experienced those inconvenient and tremendously embarrassing midday erections most men experience as boys passing through puberty, women don't understand how this might happen. They just don't get it. Involuntary erections are a fact of life for men, as we have them in the morning when we wake up. Also, a woman may stroke and fondle her victim's penis to erectness even if he's unwilling. As Mick Hunter pointed out in Abused Boys, the neglected victims of sexual abuse, quote, Many people, including victims, falsely believe that an erection means enjoyment and willing participation. However, research shows that just as women who are being sexually assaulted sometimes lubricate and even are orgasmic, men who are forced to have humiliating and frightening sexual experiences can and do maintain erections, close quote. However the erection happens, once achieved, the assailant can maintain it through the simple, though harmful device of wrapping a cord tightly around the base, thereby maintaining and increasing the hardness of the erection. Ultimately, this can result in internal bleeding and blood clots, which may then break loose to float freely and dangerously through a man's circulatory system. Thus, men are vulnerable to penile engulfment against their will, rape. In every sense that counts, both penile engulfment against a man's will and testicular assault are rape. But every woman who has ever kicked a man's testicles would likely say, quote, "He had it coming," close quote. Yeah, right. How many convicted rapists have made the same cute excuse, claiming that she, quote, "had it coming," close quote. There is no difference, and every woman who has ever kicked a man's testicles in other than self-defense is guilty of rape. Some might complain that by recognizing how women rape men, we will trivialize the entire issue. As one feminist protested when I told her this, quote, "You're stealing women's thunder," close quote. But in my opinion, feminists should be eager to recognize male victimization because once men realize how they can be victims of rape, then it will no longer be a case of men the protectors guarding women the victims, but people working to make life safer for everybody. Given how the police, the courts, and society often treat female victims of rape, remember this was 1992, with suspicion and disrespect, even feminists should welcome that. Of course, we know now that feminists would never welcome that. That's all for now. Check out the other videos, subscribe to the channel. For the Backlash at backlash.com, my name is Rod Van Mechelen.